we're live.
So welcome to our version of Traveling Inside. We like to call it Salty Inside because it's a special C edition, and this is the casters J Storm as well as the Chris Band, specially featuring all of our friends Wef Has, who will be producing the content from this special podcast brought to you. So with Worlds coming up and everything, we decided to have a little version of our own predictions and thoughts with regards to the Worlds groupings and who we think is gonna take Worlds down. So to actually kind of start things off, I mean, I'm kind of a gambling person, so I like to look at the odds of it. But before we move on to that, why don't you everyone give a short introduction of yourself?
Chris?
Oh, you want me to start first?
Of course.
I'm Chris. I cast for the GPL, of course. Like what Jason mentioned, and of course, what else do I do? I play a lot of League. I play a lot of Hearthstone. I'm very excited for Worlds to be in Singapore.
Yeah, who isn't?
And and previously I did a bit of work for the LPL.
Yeah.
We will see whether like I'm gonna continue to actually be involved in it. So it's up
It's gonna be
for grabs lah.
interesting.
So that's me for now.
Uh-oh, the video has crashed. Never mind, it's my turn. Hi, I'm Wefhez. I do YouTube videos. I'm particularly doing GPL recaps on my YouTube videos. And pretty much it. I do some Let's Plays and I follow the esports scene.
Okay, and once again, for those of you who don't know who I am J Storm. I'm one of the, I wouldn't say I'm one of the newer casters anymore. I've been casting for some good time now on the GPL and TLC circuit. Recently, I've also helped with some analyst work for the Fat Rabbit, who will be playing this Saturday in the finals in the Legends circuit against Insidious Gaming Legends. But there's some really small scale things. So let's move on to the big scale things. Let's go on to Worlds itself. So what I actually want to propose here is that if, let's say, Worlds is split out 25 times. Okay, let's say Worlds is split out 25 times. You know the Korean teams are the best. So I'm gonna say this is my predictions. Okay, if Worlds is split out 25 times, Samsung Galaxy Blue will win it 7 times. Najin Waishu will win it 6 times, and Samsung Galaxy White will win it 5 times. Okay, it sounds fair so far. All the Korean teams, they have quite a lion's share of it. I mean, in total, that's 18 out of 25 that a Korean team will win it.
Oh wow, how many? Wow, you have already put like how many times the world has it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that if we, I mean, it's in the infinite universe kind of possibility scenario, and if we just take a sample of 25, I believe that it will trend towards these kind of things. Korean teams, 18 out of 25 times it will be won by a Korean team, and it's gonna be 1/3 each. But I'm just gonna carry it this way with Blue first because they're #1 from Korea. I was impressed by the way White Shield played their series in the entire gauntlet.
9-1. Oh my god.
Yeah, 9-1 against KT as well as SKT. I mean, KT Bullets didn't really count, but I think the fact they showed a very strong understanding of the game, they have very good control of the game, and their ability to come back through a deficit is really quite impressive. I don't really watch OGN a lot, so I'm going to put Samsung White as the last of the Korean teams. I might get some flack for this, but I'm just going to put it down there. This is from the rough impressions that I've get from just following results, following hearsay, and only watching the gauntlet itself. Okay, so now let's move on from the Korean teams. Okay, so now there's 18 out of 25. There's 7 situations in which the Korean teams don't win it. I believe 3 out of those 7 is going to be EDG who wins it. So 3 out of 25 chance that Edward Gaming wins it, and this is because, and they're going to win it because they're going to be the mechanical beast, this mythical rumored mechanical beast from China who goes down there and then absolutely destroys everyone lanes. As the Koreans go in and it's like, holy shit, I've never seen someone play AD carry in this kind of manner before. Their clicking is robotic perfect. I mean, people joke about Koreans being robotic, but the Chinese are going to take it to one more level.
Yes,
Nami is going to hard carry the team as the AD carry, and that's the 3 situations in which they come out on top.
What? So 4 out of 25, or 3 out of 25.
3 out of 25.
That's
3 out of 25 that a Chinese team will win based on mechanical prowess. And because Ever Gaming, they have been so dominant at LPL, I'm not going to say, oh, it's 3 out of 25 that a Chinese team might win it. I'm going to be specific. Edward Gaming is going to take it if a Chinese team wins it. Okay. And then moving on to the last 4 scenarios, in which it's not a Chinese team and it's not a Korean team. I believe 2 out of 25, Alliance is going to take it. Okay? that Alliance is going to win Worlds. 2 out of those 25 situations, Alliance is going to take it. I think they have the potential. They went 75% against all the teams in the LCS, and that represents quite a large variety of playstyles. It shows that they understand the game to a certain level. I do think that their understanding of the game is still a step behind the Koreans, but now that they are scrimming against the Koreans, they're actually getting to see how they play. I do think that there's a potential that they might have the chance to be able to step up and be able to take some games and maybe even win the World Championship. Okay, now the last 2 scenarios. One, I'm going to give it to TSM. This is because I've got a horrible track record predicting against TSM. I say that okay, they're not going to do well in any LCS. They're going to lose to Cloud9. They're going to lose to all these. They're going to lose to LMQ. They're going to lose to Cloud9. And every time I've been wrong. So I'm just going to put a 1 out of 25 scenario that TSM might make it because they have defied my expectations every time. And it looks like Local Doco is doing something that other people aren't. Why is this not a larger margin? Because I feel that whatever Local Doco and whatever TSM is doing is simply an inferior version of whatever the Korean teams are doing. So this is my rationale as to why I'm not going to give TSM a larger margin. And then the last 1 out of 25 is that a team outside Korea takes it. Any team that is currently not screaming out outside of Korea might be able to take Worlds. And this is the scenario in which it turns out. They go around there, and this could be AHQ, this could be TPA, this could be Dark Passage, this could be Kaboom, and whoever who's not screaming in Korea at the moment. Because the possibility here is that they discover something that no one else has discovered before. They will reinvent the game and win Worlds because they have reinvented the game. They're going to go down there and they're going to buy 4 blue trinkets at 10 minutes instead of buying sweeping lances. And things like that, because it's something that is not the Koreans can look at it and the analysts look at it overnight and oh, okay, this is how we're going to adapt and this is how we're going to beat this strategy. This is something you need to be practicing for months in order to be playing without wards and be playing with scrying ops instead. I mean, this is just an example of how it might happen. Or people go down there and then we start to see supports become a more core component of the damage dealing instead of just becoming CC bots and things like that. If we see a team like start to pick up like assassins as supports, or we see, I mean, the Koreans already been building Magi's on some of the supports as well.
Yeah.
If we see a little bit more of that, and then we see more gold being channeled towards the supports, and then they use this to find timing windows, this might actually be able, because they actually open up these avenues in which people haven't really been exploring, and because of that, they reinvent the game in this area. This is the 1 out of 25 situation where I feel the team outside of Korea finds it. Because if it's a team that's already screaming inside Korea, all they're doing is that they're just learning from the Korean teams, they're innovating from that, they get scouted by the Koreans, they scout the Koreans, and then after that, the Koreans are just going to do whatever you do, but they're going to do it 10 times better. And then that's it. Whatever element of surprise you had, you don't have the 2 months of preparation playing with the scrying ops and stuff like that. But if you think about it, a Dark Passage right now, they're playing with scrying ops only. If AHQ, they're playing with scrying ops only instead of wards. That's going to be something that you go down there and the Koreans like, holy shit, how did we do with this? There's no wards. The visual game is completely based off scrying ops, and then they just lose to them. And then they just lose to Dark Passage because no one ever saw it coming.
That's a pretty interesting way to put it, and yeah.
But it's super unlikely. That's why it's 1 out of 25. You have to reinvent the game. It's not say that okay, this is some level 1 strategy that we came up with, because this is something that you go down there. Then the Korean analysts, they will have their teams prepared already. They're going to watch your games, and even if you manage to cheese people out of the group stages, by the time you get to the playoffs itself, there's such a large gap between September and October. They're going to have the analysts watching your games over and over and over again. They will have figured you out by then.
So you're expecting them to pull it out only during the bracket stage? No, they still have to beat the group stages before they even hit to the bracket stage.
Yeah, but it has to be a reinvention of the game that it's not something where you can just, where it's not a systematic improvement, where it's like, okay, this is how we can adapt to this. Snap out a finger, very easy adaptation. It's something that you need lots of practice, lots of communication. It's something that happens on a subtle level that affects the game in a very large way. Things like how do you distribute gold to the top lane and support? How do you distribute gold to your jungler? This is one approach that we might see the game being reinvented in. Maybe questioning the fact that we have got a marksman and the AP mid and the support. This is another way things might be reinvented, where you have to, where it completely shifts the entire way the game is played. Or the other way is the way the vision game is played, playing the scrying ops instead of wards. So I'm not sure if it works. I'm not sure it works. I'm just saying that if Dark Passage wants a realistic shot at winning Worlds, they need to be looking in these areas right now.
Oh, so yes, it's pretty much something like a super cheese, something that is so cheesy that
it's really not even cheese at this point. It's reinventing the game. You're reinventing the way the game is played.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So what's your predictions?
No, wait, before that. So you're saying that it's like completely having a strategy that is completely out of the current meta that nobody can predict and nobody has an answer to.
Yes.
And that will be the key to some of the underdogs to be able to take the entire World Championship.
To call it a strategy at this point is an understatement. You need to literally reinvent the way people play League of Legends.
Oh, okay. Yep. It's like the way Europe reinvented the way they played Season 1. Something like that.
Like the way M5 reinvented the jungle position. The way Diamond Prox reinvented the role of the jungler in Season 3.
Alright. Sure. So moving on, well we have a kind of an overview by J-Storm. Chris, do you have any things to talk about the teams before we move on to our predictions?
First off, I don't know about the whole like 25 times win kind of thing because
okay, if we put it in a percentage base, it will make more sense. Like
I mean,
the numbers.
just multiply by 4.
Multiply by 4.
Yeah, but I mean, the Worlds happened one time and just one time, and I don't know where you get this like percentages from and all that.
Yeah, I was a bit confused as well.
It's out to come up with a betting system because I mean, everyone's gonna. I'm gonna predict a Korean team in sense of which Korean team.
Yeah, it's pretty much you could have just.
Then there's no meaningful discussion.
You could have just stuck to percentages. The 25 was like we have to multiply it by 4.
I should just stuck percentages.
I mean, results don't lie. Like the Korean is obvious. The Koreans are obviously the strong favorites into Season 4 Worlds, and I think there's a good reason why people say that the Koreans will win now. But the thing about Season 4 Worlds, right, and how it's so significantly different from the rest of the seasons is that number one, there are no buys, so you will get to see all the number 1 seeds play at least a couple of games in the group stages. That's the first thing that you probably want to look at. So in that sense, it's gonna be more exciting than not for most of the other for the rest of the other worlds itself. So
yeah, definitely.
I think we should look at it in that perspective and not who's gonna win and who's gonna like do what nonsense or what. I think that this time around Season 4 Worlds is gonna be quite close, because if you compare to the rest of the seasons where you have very distinguished playstyles between all the other regions, right? Right now we're approaching like a global meta sort of thing, where you get the Koreans playing something and then like everyone else is copying them.
I don't know, the Chinese no one has any idea what to do.
I just want to quickly point out something that but the thing about the Koreans as well is that they are not the only innovators in League of Legends.
Definitely.
Because a lot of times a lot of these strategies are innovated by the Chinese. Like the Korean kill in the top lane with that whole Runan's Hurricane nonsense, right? Do you know it was not built in Korea, it was built in China?
Yes.
Insect was the first guy. Not Insect.
Insect? Are you serious?
No, not Insect. What's that guy's name? PDD. Yeah, PDD was the first guy to do it. And the whole thing, LMQ Ackerman, when he was doing that, hiding the brush at level 1 until he hit level 3, and that's when he finally met with IvaCutiePie and they start boarding out each other. That was played by Koro, if I'm not wrong, from EDG. So I'm not saying that the Chinese is gonna ace this one and they are gonna be the only ones that are gonna try funny things in this time's Worlds, but I'm gonna say that it's gonna be a lot closer.
Yeah, way too close. When we look at the All-Star pairs, we kind of have a semblance of what Worlds would have been like.
I
guess so. It's a preview show that is not very close to the Worlds, and things can change, that kind of thing.
Yeah, the whole point why I don't agree is because if you look at what's that called? When you look at All Stars, right? Yes, of course, you say you send all the number 1 team in all the regions to send it and then they duke it out with each other. But if you put it in that perspective, then it's a sure win for the Koreans, because SKT T1K was the one that went, and they are not even in Worlds. So what does that make white? What does that make blue? What does that make shield? So I think it's not a very accurate gauge.
I think there was a joke going on at that point of time where All Stars is where everyone sends the number 1 team, Korea sends the number 8 team, and then Korea wins it anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, by that logic, then
Korea
it's
is gonna
showing
wipe.
Korea.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's actually looking to be quite the scenario for. From what I can see, it's pretty much going to be a Korean Grand Finals.
Okay, that
Depends
is
on bracket.
Yeah,
that
it's also
is
depends on
left
bracket.
up for debates, but
Mhm.
I am gonna I mean, if you are going to go into the prediction stages, right? Then I'm gonna kick it off. I'm gonna say right now that in the finals itself, we'll have one of the Samsung teams for sure.
Mhm.
I'm a bit skeptical about White Shield, but definitely one of the Samsung teams going up probably against EDG or Alliance. That's my prediction.
EDG or Alliance. All
Yeah,
right.
I am looking at the
That's the finals already.
I'm just gonna say it's an all Korean final.
based
because
on
I'm a
the-
boring person.
Well,
I'm
I
just
mean,
gonna say it's an all Korean.
it's highly likely as well.
Yep. Actually, I wanted.
But well,
Yeah, you were saying.
yeah, the thing about the Koreans as well is that yes, the top tier teams are good, and you know they're probably like playing like mechanical gods and stuff like that, but they're not unbeatable. Look at last year Worlds, we had Ozone playing, and if you look at Ozone's lineup, it's almost the same as
Yeah.
what
yeah.
White has now, and they
I
did
know.
not even make it out of group stages.
They choked. They choked so hard.
So it's not impossible that we'll see one of the Korean teams not make it, and if there's any, I would say it's Najin White Shield. So
White Shield. Ah.
yeah, I mean I have a good reason to doubt Najin White Shield because number one, yes they have Watch and you know they have. I mean all the other players like stepped out like Zephyr, Gorilla,
Mhm.
like all these players they are.
Definitely.
Yeah, Akon that's on blue.
They
Yeah,
just came out of the blue and started to wreck face. I don't know how they managed to take performance enhancing drugs. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know, but in terms of just playing wise, I think that everyone else especially in Group D, with exceptions to Kaboom of course, namely Alliance and Cloud9, these two teams they have very seasoned players, and I think experience plays a part when it comes to Worlds itself.
I mean, I have to say that Najin White Shield is definitely going to make it. Alliance and Cloud9, they don't stand a chance against Najin White Shield. Watching their games in the Gauntlet, I mean, I'm going to explain why I feel so right now. Because watching the way that they play in the Gauntlet, they showed a very strong understanding of the way you control the game from the mid game onwards. The way they had the side lanes always pushing on the favor. I felt that was one of the main reasons why they beat KT Arrows. Firstly, the pick and ban phase is extremely solid. In what they have demonstrated, they know how to identify their win cons, and then they play extremely well against KT Arrows. And I felt that KT Arrows in the series, they didn't really find the windows of opportunity to find it. They only had like the right with the home guys TP in the one game as well to find engagement. And I think that Najin White Shield did a very good job of playing around that. And it's just the fact that their vision game is so solid. The fact that they know how to control the game so well. At this point of time, I feel that Alliance as well as Cloud9, it's just really, really difficult for them to catch up to that. I mean, Alliance, they have showed that, yes, we know how to control the waves as well. We know how to play the vision game around Baron. They showed that in EU, which is why I feel that Alliance has a chance. But in general, Najin White Shield, they're one class ahead of the European and American teams because they just understand the game at a deeper level, at which they're still struggling to grasp.
Yep. Okay,
It's
so
like you're learning multiplication and then the other guy knows calculus really.
yeah.
But I disagree on that. The reason why is because you're judging Najin White Shield based on the games that they play in the Gauntlet, right?
Yep.
And you're looking at Alliance based on the games that they play in the playoffs and the ULCS and whatnot,
I mean,
right?
I usually watch the ELCS, so I've watched most of Alliance games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna say right now that Alliance is very obviously ahead of everyone else in the EU scene back when...
I'll agree with you.
Yeah, it is very similar to the case when Cloud9 was playing in summer 2013 and spring 2013 as well, where they just wrecked face every single game and they only dropped like what, 4 games? Yeah, and right now Cloud9 is not in the best position because even though they are like the hot favorites in NA, TSM still managed to edge them out in the spring finals, 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why I would say that if let's say one of the Western teams, as in definitely one of the Western teams is going to make it out of Group D, so it's either going to be Alliance or Cloud9. I'm going to give it to Alliance instead of
Kabul might
Cloud9.
reinvent the game.
Alright, so
It's not gonna
already,
have, like,
wow, we've
4%.
already started. Okay, so for Group D, Chris has says that Alliance is going to come out on top, as
Yeah.
well as
I actually made predictions on for
on your
this.
Twitter, right?
Yeah, and I say that Cloud9 is gonna beat out Najin Whiteshoe.
No chance.
So now it's Alliance and Cloud9. Is that it, Chris?
Yeah, that's my predictions. While I highly respect Whiteshoe's ability to play and of course make it out of group stations, and of course at the end of the day they're Koreans lah, but
Yep, they are.
I think if there's any slip in the cracks for the Korean meta, right, it's gonna be Najin Whiteshoe and like their players. So yeah.
Okay,
And
fair.
The thing about Cloud9 is that they are slowly becoming this team that is very similar to Fnatic, where they are a big stage player, and whenever they go to a big stage, they tend to perform better. And that's also the reason why when you look at All Stars, right, if you look at Cloud9's track record when it comes to international event, Battle of the Atlantic,
Yeah.
All Stars last year also. I mean, they did drop to Fnatic, but it was pretty much at Cloud9's infancy stage where they just played together as a team. But right now they've choked up so much like international experience. I think they'll be able to do well against Najin Whiteshoe.
This is the thing I find very interesting. I hear a lot of people saying that Najin Whiteshoe, they might not do as well at Worlds. Here's the reason why I think Najin Whiteshoe will not only do well at Worlds, I think they might actually have a very good shot at beating the Samsung teams as well, given that it's a all Korean affair from semis onwards. And here's the reason why: because traditionally the Samsung teams, comparing the Samsung teams as well as Najin Whiteshoe, the Samsung teams, they do well when there's a new patch. They do well when they have the chance to innovate, when they can have a lot of space to develop their own creative play style with the new patch, have a lot of time to duke around the changes, because they're very fast at picking up these new changes and they're very good at innovating strategies around these kind of things. Whereas Najin Whiteshoe, they're a more solid, very steady kind of team. Like, they're very good at a meta game that's been refined out, and the World Smash has been around for so long already. And this is the reason why I think Najin Whiteshoe will do well. You see them drop games, you see them not do so well. It's only when there's a new patch comes up, they struggle to do the new patch, and then the choice of AD carry, the choice of what's popular in the meta game, it kind of makes them suffer a little bit, which is why a lot of people were saying Zephyr and Gorilla were inconsistent. I felt that it was more of a patch issue rather than a player issue. And it's the way that the team tries to play around the patch. They might be a little bit stubborn and be a little bit unwilling to ditch their old ideas, but whenever Najin Whiteshoe, they figure out the game, I think they figure out better than anyone else, and their approach to the game is really, really very solid. So I don't think it's fair to say that because Najin Whiteshoe they're the third team, so it's likely that they are the slips in the cracks. It's more likely that the Samsung teams actually end up slipping up, because it has happened before. First of all, Season 3 Worlds, and then they tend to innovate and innovating teams comes with a risk. When you like to innovate, it always comes with a risk, because it might work well on scrims, but then when you bring these innovations out to other people, they might try to innovate at the same time, and then you just end up fighting a very awkward situation. Like we saw, I believe it was Blue who tried the Misfortune in the sister team game. I think for spring,
yes.
the spring semis or the spring finals, and then the Misfortune just didn't work. And then yet they still went for it time after time, because they felt that, okay, Misfortune is really strong here. We might see something at Worlds, and this is the reason why the Samsung teams might lose. It's not because there are other teams that are better. They just lose to themselves because they outsmart themselves and they try to do something funny, they try something innovative, and they get punished because of it.
Yeah. Apparently that's also the same thing that happened to CLG, I guess.
CLG is a completely different issue. It's not because they outsmarted themselves. I'm appalled by the fact that they have such a poor understanding of the game despite going to Korea and coming back.
Yeah, but that's another story. That's another story.
Yeah, but that's a different topic.
Alright, so
I don't even want to touch on
let's
it.
okay, if that's all from Chris, is there anything else?
If let's say everything goes to my what I predicted, right? As in because I posted like a series of predictions, like who's gonna be top of the table of each group and who's gonna be second. If everything goes as it is, right, I think the finals is gonna be an all Samsung finals.
All Samsung finals. Okay.
Yeah. I still stick to the thing that Najin Whiteshoe has a. They might be able to make it out of Group D, but they're gonna have a very difficult time to. Hopefully.
Actually, when
If you ask me to pick one team to win it all, I'm gonna pick Najin Whiteshoe. I'm gonna pick Najin Whiteshoe.
Okay.
Fair enough.
For actually, when I look at the brackets, it's kind of highly unlikely that the Samsung blue and white teams will be facing each other in the grand finals. It's more likely than not that they face each other in the semi-finals, because the top team in Group A and the top team in Group C will be in the same upper part of the bracket. Let me just show the bracket over here.
The bracket stage, right? Yeah, I'm looking at it as well.
Yeah. So the thing is, if Samsung white is in A1 and Samsung blue is in C1, then if they beat B2 and D2, they would face each other in the semi-finals instead of the grand finals.
That's not gonna happen because Samsung white is gonna be in A2.
A2? What's okay? So wait, let me just double check.
EDG.
A2.
EDG.
So EDG will be A1. You're saying EDG will be A1.
Yeah.
That's the 3 out. That's the 3 out of 25 I was talking about. 12% chance.
The reason why I say EDG is gonna make A1, right, is okay. I won't call it like Chinese bias, but I will say like EDG has a very, very big potential to upset Group A in terms of who's gonna go in first. They are a team who it's just overall a very strong team with very strong players mechanically. And I was discussing with, I think, Kelsey as well, like, who do you think is going to make it out of, group stages in A1? She said that Samsung White's going to make it, but I beg to differ. I think if there's anyone that can upset the Samsung teams, it's going to be EDG. And if you look at the general trend of White as a team, as well as an organization, right, they are a very slow momentum team, I would say. Like, they need some time to figure things out, like test the waters a bit, and that's where they're gonna falter to EDG. Whereas EDG, whenever you watch them play, right, they don't play with any restriction at all. They just go all in on every single thing, and that's why I think they will make it out of group stages as the first position. But that is also going to be their weakness because they show their hands too early most of the time.
Oh, so when it's time for the bracket stage, they kind of like get figured out. You're saying that that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and the thing about Worlds itself, right, is that a lot of this, all this prep work and research and preparation, right, it can only get you so far. You need to play the teams in order to actually find out their actual strength. And when it comes to scrimming, right, they're definitely not going to scrim their world opponents.
Yeah,
why
group,
would you want to?
Yeah.
Why would you want to give information to your opponents? It doesn't make sense. So that's it, right? I think White is a more conservative team as compared to EDG, who is very aggressive and very all in. So group stages wise, I think that EDG is gonna make out top.
Okay, so group stages, EDG make out top. Oh, Chris.
That's my predictions.
And then it's White, correct?
Yeah, but I don't wanna discount out White because in terms of just overall consistency, I think White is up there together with Blue, even though they did jack shit in OGN Champions, but
yeah,
I think that's just how the Korean scene is right now, because every single one of the team is so strong that you never know who is going to end up in the finals anyways. But in terms of consistency, I think White and Blue has it up there.
Okay, so I guess it's my turn. Basically, the overall when I saw the group stages, especially when during the World's group reveal, when I first saw the Dark Passage and the HQ, I was like, okay, this is going to be
the group of life, they call it.
Yeah, a group of life and
life.
And
then
I
would like to call it a group of salt, okay? Because either one of them mix it up. Everyone's discounting Dark Passage HQ so hard right now, including me, okay? Including me, I'm discounting them. It's like, okay, these two teams, okay, thanks for participating. Here's your participation prize money. I hope you have fun in Taiwan.
You know what's sad about for HQ? You know what's sad for HQ? They're playing in their own country. That's the worst thing. They don't even get to travel out of the country.
They punched a ticket to Worlds, but they flew to Taiwan.
Nonsense.
That's the worst thing that could happen to them. But the thing is, it's just bad luck for HQ. The thing is, they cannot make it out of the group stages with such strong teams like Samsung White and EDG. So yeah, this is the easiest group to predict. I think J-Storm, you would have the same two picks, right? Okay, who will be first place? J-Storm.
Samsung White. I predicted Samsung White is in like 60% Samsung White, 30%. 30% on EDG.
Yeah. Okay. So
It's about 2:1 ratio, and I'm gonna give a 10% here to AHQ simply because, or even okay, screw it, actually AHQ or Dark Passage because it's the way EDG and Samsung White play. I mean, it's like what I said earlier. The Samsung teams, they might innovate themselves to death, and EDG, I mean, aggression, high risk, high reward. So yeah.
Yeah, but you still have to give me your first two, which is ED.
Yeah, I mean, it's 60-30, and then 10% that is not these two teams.
Alright, so the 10% I'm not gonna write it in the chart, okay?
On a side note, do you read it the other time when someone was posting something about the Dark Passage, how they are preparing for Worlds?
How are they preparing for Worlds?
Do you know they lose to like normal challenger players at the NAC?
No. Oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, so
I mean, I will definitely be rooting for the underdogs, including Dark Passage and Kaboom Esports, but that doesn't sound good at all.
Come on, do it, man! 5 scoring ops. I want to see 5 scoring ops and reinvent the way the game is played.
You show me 5 scoring ops this Sunday. No wait, is it Saturday or Sunday?
It's something that takes months to prepare. But I can say, hey guys, I'm gonna boot camp you guys for 1 day right now, and then after they're gonna show you 5 scoring ops. Okay. Either one, not only am I a genius, the 5 players that are under me are geniuses as well because they can communicate information so well that okay, suddenly 5 scoring ops work. It's something that you need to sit down and figure out as a team for 1 month or 2 months. And if I was a coach on Dark Passage, this would be my approach to the game to have a legitimate shot at Worlds. If I was a coach on Dark.
The thing is, our underdogs do not have 1 month or 2 months to practice this anymore.
Yeah, you need to start this like long time ago. The moment they had qualification.
Okay,
but
Chris?
let's talk about this later. Let's continue the group stage predictions.
Wait. Dark Passage from Turkey, right?
Yes, they are.
So I think the only way that they are making out of group stages is if they feed all the other teams like poisonous harmers.
God.
Okay, Group B, let's go.
Okay, wait, I haven't even given my predictions. Why do you not care about me?
Because it's gonna be Samsung White and EDG, and all Samsung is gonna be on top.
Are you gonna say HQ is gonna come out number 1?
Hey, come on. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna say HQ, I'm so sorry. They are just way too predictable right now. Their strategies are sound, but they just only have one strategy, and once teams figure them out, they are just doomed to fail. So yeah, I'm gonna go for White and EDG as well in that order. Meaning White will go first, and then EDG will go second. And that also means that there will be probably Korean friendly fire during the semi-finals. And I love it.
Now that we're done the boring groups, let's get on to the juicy group.
Alright, the juicy one. Group B, alright? Group B. Who do we have in Group B?
Let's do Group B, okay?
Okay,
the reason why I find Group B so interesting is they were asking like names for groups. I would like to call Group B a world without Korea. Okay. It's really the world without Korea. This is what League of Legends would look like if Korea wasn't involved.
Oh, Season 1 World Championships.
I mean, that's not very fair comparison. The meta game was different back then, but if now the game would evolved to this point, and if Korea wasn't in the picture, what would the realistic tournament look like, and who would come out on top? And this is why I find Group B so interesting.
Okay, I'll introduce the groups in the teams in Group B in the same order that the review show introduced them. So we have SK Gaming, and then Starhorn Royal Club, and then we have TPA, Azubu Taipei Assassins, and the final draw was TSM, and that was when I laughed the hardest because I was like, "What? TPA has such a decent chance of getting out of brackets."
I'm not gonna say decent. I said my Facebook post was a real chance, which means it's greater than 0. Okay, but
yes, greater than 0. For me, it's a decent chance because first things first, I sort of already had a mental preparation that TPA was never ever gonna make it out of bracket stage. Make it out to bracket stage because come on, let's be real here. We have 3 Korean teams and 4 China teams actually. 4, not 3, and
let's just say if you want TPA to have a surefire way to make it out of any group stages, right? They would have to draw both the wildcard teams and AHQ. That's how they go.
It's not possible to draw both wildcard teams because of the pooling system. So they could have gotten into like a Kaboom or DP kind of thing, and some. other teams that are not Korean teams, and that would be a chance. And even then, they will only be the second seed from the group stages. So that was what I was thinking. But now what we have is a very, very decent chance of TP getting out of the group stages. They have SK at Royal Club and TSM. Arguably, all these teams are very strong, and that is exactly why everybody cannot call this group.
Okay.
So Chris, you can have your first go on this. Your predictions.
TPA. Okay. The format is each team will play the other teams twice, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So they will play
one
at
in
least,
blue, one in red.
So at least a total of 8 games, right?
6
Did it?
games. They play 6 games.
6 games.
6 games.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
6 games. So it's either 3-0-0, like 2-1-0 on. Okay. So here's my prediction for both SK and TPA. They are gonna go 0 wins, 1 draw, and 2 loss.
What?
And they will draw each other. Yeah, that is my.
TP and SK.
Yeah, TP
TP and SK are going to draw each other and lose their round. Okay.
What?
So they will fight in a tiebreaker to see who's gonna make it out of third, and that one TPA will win.
There's no third. There's no need to fight third.
Oh, okay. Then
Yeah, because the first two, and there's no point in fighting for a third
Prize
spot.
money. Prize money. Prize money.
0,
No.
1, 2 lah.
Prize money.
No, it's different.
Does it matter? It's different.
Yeah.
All right. So there are actually matches for tiebreakers for these as well. Okay. Okay, sure.
Yeah, 0, 1, and 2. TPA is gonna win the tiebreaker.
Okay, so
Who's
Chris, who's your first pick?
TSM.
TSM. All right, of course, TSM fanboy.
Of course.
Okay.
No, I mean, I got legit reasons as well.
So I'm gonna assume obviously it's to give Starhouse Royal Club for the second seed.
Yeah.
All right. Justification time.
Okay. The good thing about watching this group play, right, is that a lot of the players are quite YOLO, especially from Starhorn and TSM as well. But the reason why I say TSM is gonna win Starhorn is for a very simple reason. Starhorn is very reckless, and TSM punish recklessness very well.
That is yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah, the most glaring problem for Starhorn leading to the playoffs and even in the regular season, right, is that I mean they can give the excuse that it's a communication problem, but in fact he always overextends in very weird territories.
Yes.
And the thing about the how the different dynamics interact with each other, right, is that TSM as a team now, when you look at all the players, they might not be the top of their field, but the thing is that they gel very well together as a team. Yeah, and I will say that their team fighting powers surpasses some of the Chinese teams as well. And the good thing that they have is that Amazing, right? When you have this Amazing versus Insect matchup, right? The thing about Amazing is that he might not be the best jungler around, but he knows how to maintain vision control. He knows how to call out like whoever that's alone by themselves and then make the picks happen. That's the good thing about having Amazing around. And the other thing is also Bjergsen. Bjergsen going up against the mid laner for Starhorn, right? Oh, okay. Not really about that. It's more of Bjergsen when he plays, right? He is very supportive of Amazing when it comes to his whatever actions that he wants to take. Let's say he wants to catch the opponent jungler, right? If you look at his champion pool, Syndra, Fizz, okay, maybe not Fizz, like
So you're
Yasuo
saying-
and all that stuff.
So you're saying that Bjergsen will definitely be able to beat out Korn.
Maybe not, but he is gonna be able to make a lot more plays as compared to Korn, I feel. Yeah, and it's primarily because of... It's not so much of TSM playing well, but more of Starhorn having very glaring mistakes that TSM can punish.
Yeah,
That's
I get.
that's
I
a
guess.
too long version.
Actually, the highlight for the matchup between TSM and Starhorn is that it's the bot lane where we have Uzi and Zero on Starhorn, and of course Wild Turtle and Last Boy on the other side. And frankly speaking, both of the ADCs are very reckless in their own right. The only problem that I see is that Last Boy is a much more protective support than what Zero can do.
I wouldn't count out Zero as compared to Last Boy, but the thing is, I mean, when you have two Korean supports, then you'll go back to their history in OGN and stuff like that.
I guess so.
Obviously, Last Boy does better than Zero, but I would say that Zero and Uzia actually have a much better synergy as compared to Walter than Last Boy, just because of how much longer they've played together.
Yeah, they are definitely much.
Yeah, but when you come to this sort of like matchups itself, right? It's not so much about who is the better bottom lane, but I'm looking at the team collectively as a whole. So, I mean, you can talk about the whole top lane matchup, jungle matchup, and all that shit, but
yeah, if it's really the lane matchups, TSM will not really be able to win. Yeah, because of the mechanics wise, right?
I mean, yeah, but the whole thing about TSM is that the one trait that they have is that they are very good at punishing people when they're out of position. So it's like a rock paper and scissors thing, and just so happens that who's that? Starhorn is the rock and TSM is the paper to that. That is in my respect, but at the end of the day, I still think it's a 60-40, which means that Starhorn still has a really, really good chance of making out as #1 seed. But I think this one I gotta believe TSM in that, so they will make it out first.
Okay, so Chris has TSM and Starhorn. Alright, Jensen?
This script is very hard to call for me, okay? I just gotta make it clear that I don't think TP has got a chance, okay? I don't think TP has got a chance. At first I was thinking that my initial predictions was all the teams excluding TP will go 1-1. So Starhorn, SK as well as TSM, they'll just go 1-1 against each other. And then whoever who drops the game to TPA in the one moment of glory, in the one game they win,
God damn it.
will not make
Don't
it.
treat them like an SAJ, please, come on.
TPA will win one game. That's against SK, and end of story. That's it.
I don't think it's against SK though. I was actually inclined to say it's Starhorn Royal Club. I was inclined to say against Starhorn Royal Club.
That is actually quite true. If TPA picks up a game against anyone, it's either against SK or Starhorn. I don't think they'll take a game off TSM.
As someone who, I mean, as in because the GPL, I mean, I've watched the USS quite a bit, and it's not the first time I do believe I'll be saying that TP is a poor man's SK. Have you guys said this from me before? I mean, I've said that TP is a poor man's SK gaming. The way that they approach the game is very similar to what SK does, but it's just inferior to what SK is doing.
But SK is going on tilt though, so that's the reason why.
They're going on tilt?
They're going on tilt.
And that they are not going to be full strength as well because their coach is banned.
I heard about that as well.
Yeah,
that might be factors.
That is quite the factor to consider as well.
Incarnation. Okay, so what's your top 2 choice for Group B then?
So for me, well, since you guys have already abandoned the Southeast Asian scene totally, I would like to say, of course this is just me being after watching Road to Worlds and all. I don't like how people are really counting out the Southeast Asian region, not AHQ of course, TPA. Simply because I've seen them play in IEM, I've seen them play in All Stars, and they've been playing.
Dude, I watched every single game in the GP.
I have even for you guys who have like, I've seen the GPL Grand Finals and it's nothing impressive. Okay, fine. But the thing is, they have been consistently improving, and it has been showing. Ever since their All Stars loss, they've made a very good decision to get a Korean coach, and it has been working well for them ever since. You do see leaps, them don't laugh at me. Okay, you do see them improving leaps and bounds, and they are definitely going to show that they are not going to be trifled with. So yeah, I do believe that TSM and Starhorn Royal Club have a better chance. And especially when I do a lane to lane matchup, it is very obvious, clear cut that Starhorn Royal Club and TSM do perform much better. Like, come on, you compare Dyrus and Archie, there's nothing to compare. Maybe it's just my gut feeling that deja vu is gonna happen. Everybody's counting it out, and something like that's gonna happen. Something like season 2 might happen.
So what's the TLDR? Who's your top 2?
TLDR. Okay, my top 2. I would say Starhorn Royal Club
first. Okay.
And then TPA second.
I mean to give.
Counting SK.
Okay, to actually give credit to what Wev said, right? I think TPA is gonna perform much better than what they did in the past two international events, because let's be honest, the past two they were ruffle storm for the most part. But maybe this time around they'll actually give a much better showing, and they will probably look like what's that team? Team Coast. You know how they used to no. You know how they used to describe Team Coast. They are a team that look really good until they lose the game. So it's gotta be that same scenario.
I don't think. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that's going for TPA. Okay, they're not screaming in Korea.
Yeah, they're not screaming in Korea, but they can scream Koreans. It's not as if they cannot scream Koreans. Their ping difference in from Taiwan to Korea is not a very big difference. They have always.
No, I'm saying that this is an advantage for them. They're not screaming in Korea.
Yeah, because and they have always
if you're
been
so far behind, and if you want to scream in Korea, you're just gonna improve at the same rate as compared to everyone else who's currently screaming in Korea, and then as a result, you're just gonna be at whatever level you're at plus whatever X amount that screaming in Korea will get you, and then everyone else gets boosted by the same amount. It's like what I said. At the moment, it's an information game, and all the underdogs need to do is figure out one thing that no one else has figured out. And I feel that in TPA's case, it's a much more realistic chance for them if just to make it out groups, if they can figure out some things. Because if you just look at the group's context, it could be things down to like level 1 strategies, like cheesy tactics, like how do you approach Dragon, how do you approach your opponent's buffs, and things like that. You can actually use a lot of much more cheesy tactics in these contexts because yes, you get figured out very easily. But if you can prepare them within your own context, within your own shell, you can actually surprise people with them, and it's going to work at least in group stages.
Okay.
And that's what I feel is working for them because they're not screaming in Korea.
One thing I have going for me is that yes, true enough, TPA's performance in the GPL have not been spectacular, even though they have been like winning. The first thing I want to talk about is where your criticism about their picks and bans over the entire summer split. They're like, what are they picking? Why are they doing this?
TPA? I've never criticized TPA's pick and bans.
Some people have lah. Okay.
Oh, because they're not analysts.
Yeah, and the thing is that true enough, they haven't been doing that, and perhaps there's a reason behind all this, because the fact is, yes, I've seen that. The fact is that they have been screaming Koreans way before even CLG decided to go to Korea, and it is almost impossible that they don't know what the OP picks are. Why are you laughing at me?
No, okay. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just reading the Starhawk Radicals coach states that.
Oh god damn it. Okay, so yeah, it is almost zero possibility that they don't know what the OP picks are. But the fact that they are not picking the OP picks in GPL might be simply because they have already started their secretive strategy of not showing their true power, and that I am hoping, of course, in from the bottom of my heart, that during Worlds they will be able to unleash everything and wreck face. Of course, be still my heart, because they have disappointed me like twice in a row this year, and it's very painful.
I mean, from our perspective, when TPA does well, I mean, it does well for the rest of the region now, but at the end of the day, we are looking at realistic numbers, and if we are going with realistic predictions, what was I gonna say? Predictions.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're going with realistic predictions, right, I will say that TPA is very difficult.
Yeah. Very okay. Here's the thing. I'm
just gonna break it down to my percentage game kind of thing. Okay, I'm just gonna break it down to my percentage game kind of thing. I feel that TPA. If it's 4 teams, if it's complete even, everyone's 25%. Okay, I feel that TPA is about 15%. Okay, and that speaks volumes as compared to what I was saying, like what AHQ and Dark Passage were previously. So they have a real chance. They're not favorites, but they have a real chance of making it out. And in comparison to everyone else, I believe that Star Royal Club is at about 25%, TSM is 30%, and the remaining bonus 10% will go to SK. 35%. Do the numbers tally? Yeah, the numbers tally. The numbers tally.
Yes, the numbers tally.
Wait.
So 35 to SK, 30 to TSM, 25 to Star Royal Club, and 15 to TPA.
You know, I just realized something.
Yeah.
If you look at the official...
No, the numbers don't tally. The numbers don't tally. Okay. Yeah. Okay, sorry. You carry on. You carry on.
If you look at the official image of what Riot has put up in terms of like how they arrange the groups and all that, right? They have a graph, right, of all the teams' logo and all that. If you read the Starhorn article that I just linked out, you'll be able to see that picture itself. It's almost my prediction, except you swap Fnatic and OMG around. Then that will be my full prediction for what's gonna go on in Worlds. Like the positions itself.
God damn it! Why are you such a genius?
Only Fnatic and OMG needs to switch, and then I'm good. That is gonna be my prediction for like 2014 Worlds.
Okay. So sorry J-Storm, I didn't catch you. You are saying SK will be first seed, right?
I think like SK TSM 30% each. Okay, I can't give 35%. No,
Okay.
numbers to
Okay.
that.
Your
30%. Okay, I'm gonna give 31% to SK, 29 to TSM. So that I'm drawing a line. So they're both from even footing. I'm saying SK is better. Okay, 25% to Star Royal Club, and 15% to Taipei Assassins.
So it's SK first place, TSM second place. Is that it? Yes? Yes? No?
Should we move on to Group C?
Wait, hang on. I'll just put what did I put again? Starhorn Royal Club and TPA. Alright. Okay, one last thing I want to talk about TPA is that even Starhorn Royal Club thinks that TPA is the strongest contender in Group B, so
I think Mineski is the strongest contender.
Hey, what's that? Alright, let's move on. Group C, we have starting again I'll go by the review. LMQ.
This one's so easy.
LMQ, Fnatic, OMG, and then Samsung Blue.
I don't know why people say this is the group of death, because it's so easy to predict who's going to make it up top.
It's easy to predict, but the thing is, because there are people who like Fnatic a lot, they're like, oh no. I don't know. I think that it's pretty clear cut for me as well. But Jensen, you are the Europe expert. You have anything to say about this group first?
Fnatic is a team that baffles me. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Fnatic is a team that baffles me. Somehow it feels like on some days they have a pretty decent understanding of the game, and sometimes it's like, what are these guys even doing? What are their calls? And it feels like the communication is very problematic. The understanding of the game. Some days it feels spot on. Some days it feels like, okay, what are they trying to do? And then so I feel like Fnatic is like, whenever it comes to anything, I feel like Fnatic is always a super big hit or miss. They're go big or go home kind of team.
Well, to be fair, now
in terms of Group C,
they have toys in their group. And,
sorry, you were saying?
To be fair, now they have toys in their group, and this hit or miss thing is probably going to be fixed. I'm not saying that it's the easiest thing to fix, but since toys been around.
Well, actually, I mean, toys has been out of the scene. Toys has been out of the scene for so long, and last time I heard about him was like rumors he was coaching HK, and look at where HK is now, man.
Come on.
I'm not saying it's bad or anything. I'm just saying that I think he's a little bit overhyped. He's like, oh, Toys is coaching Fnatic. They're gonna do so well in Group C. I think there's a little bit of a disconnect in the logic over there. Yes, it's good to have a coach and stuff like that, but you have to look at what Toys is really bringing to the picture, what the team dynamic and how they work with their coach in the situation as well. And I'm a little bit skeptical, but I think Fnatic they have like lots of potential. Yeah, at the same time they could be absolutely last. They could be first. They could be last in this group. I mean, okay, shit. Now I'm not saying anything because it's like, okay, they could be first, they could be second, they could be third. So I'm saying that they just. Yeah, I'm like saying things for the sake of saying things. So let's okay. I'm gonna just go do my approach with the same thing. Okay. This is to me the group of death. Because I'm gonna put it this way. Okay, 30% the Samsung group. 30% the Samsung group. 25 to OMG, 25 to Fnatic, and 20 to LMQ. That's how close I feel this group is.
Well, you still have to pick a first and second, so...
I'm gonna pick Blue and Fnatic.
Alright, Blue and Fnatic.
That
means that in a chance of OMG and Fnatic tying each other and they are going to play a tiebreaker, you think that Fnatic will come out ahead?
So hard to say. I mean, I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay.
It's a conflict. This is a conflict. I feel Fnatic is a conflict team. They are quite fleeting.
Okay.
50-50. It's always 50-50 for Fnatic.
Blue and Fnatic for me.
Blue and Fnatic for you.
Straight up.
Samsung, Blue, and Fnatic. Again.
Yeah, Blue
Wow.
is obvious because a lot of people regard them as the strongest team in the world now. That's up for grabs, but I think they are definitely the strongest team in Group C. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The reason why I chose Fnatic over OMG or LMQ is
In
because
fact, if you were to say that,
if you look at their recent performance,
Korean
they
team to
are
not make it
they're
out of
picking up
groups, I'm
again.
gonna say it's.
Jensen, you didn't let Chris finish. Alright, Chris, continue. Chris, are you there?
No, I was like, my thing was I think it was lagging, so I could see Jensen's mouth move, but I couldn't hear what he was saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my prediction is that Blue is gonna make top and Fnatic is gonna make it second. Good reasons why is because Fnatic is picking up towards the end of summer. OMG is not doing so well. They are not the 2013 OMG that we are very used to seeing. Like just break face in group stages and stuff like that. They're still a very strong team, but I don't think that they will perform as well as they did before. And Fnatic should be able to take it off OMG. And the thing about LMQ is that even if you look at their history, right, they were 6th in the LPL last year before they moved over to NA. And then when they're playing in NA, okay, yes, they look good, but they're also at a point where their novelty is wearing off, so people know how to like deal with them and stuff like that. And yes, they do have very strong players, but I don't think it's going to be enough to carry through against the other teams here in Group C. So very clear-cut decision for me is Samsung Blue and Fnatic.
Okay, yeah, I guess it makes sense in that sense. I don't think there's any reason to even justify how LMQ is going to perform. Even from the playoffs alone, for NA playoffs, they have not been performing up to the so-called world standard, like what people like to call it. And they are definitely not a top-tier team. So LMQ, yeah, there's nothing really to talk about for LMQ. The three teams that
I didn't watch any playoffs, so I'm not gonna comment.
The three teams that okay, for some context for Jensen is that LMQ went 3-2 against Curse, and they went also 3-2, right, against TSM, was it?
No, the thing is,
they went
2-3, yeah.
I know the results, but the thing is that I'm not gonna comment. I'm gonna give my judgment on LMQ because I didn't watch the game. I don't want to really base off everything based off hearsay and like incomplete information.
Yeah.
Because
I
a
would-
lot of analysis on NA is like about player matchups, about lane matchups and stuff like that. And that's not how I look at the game. I always look at the game in terms of like how does the team understand the game? What is their communication like? How do they communicate information? How do they play the vision game? And how they manage their strategies and pick and ban. This is how I assess the team and their strengths.
Okay,
I
so
I would even dare say, right, for LMQ, right, by joining NA, they limited their growth as a team. If they stayed in LPL and continue to play in LPL, right, they might be relegated and all that stuff, right? But I would say that their growth would have been a lot stronger as compared to right now, their current stage, because they went to NA.
yeah, you don't move from a stronger region to a weaker region unless you the fact is they weren't strong in the beginning, and you don't move from a strong region to a weak region unless you really find
But they
that
make
you
money.
have
But they make money.
they make money. Yeah, the thing is, as in you don't see yourself winning in the local scene, then you kind of wanna be pushed away. That's how Insect actually ended up in Korea in the first place, as well as most of the other Korean players who actually moved to China, because they cannot compete anymore in the Korean scene, and like there are no teams that really want to pick them up. Yeah, and China offered more money lah per se. And that's what happened. Otherwise, it's like there's no other reason to move. Okay, but I digress. Okay, moving back to the group C predictions, right? The three teams, the no-brainer is definitely Samsung Blue, because like, come on.
It's not a no-brainer. It's not a no-brainer. It's just a safe option. I'm not gonna say it's a no-brainer.
to me it is a no-brainer because I have followed them throughout the entire OGN, and when I looked at the other three teams, I was like none of them compare in terms of their ability to team fight as well as their mechanics wise, other than OMG. But then OMG has been so shaky, especially during the playoffs, that
It's true.
I really cannot put my money on OMG. But the fact remains that even Fnatic has always been crazily shaky throughout the entire LCS spring and summer.
Yeah, but they are a big stage team. And what bigger stage is there than 2014 Season 4 Worlds?
Yeah, but you're forgetting one thing. OMG is also actually a big stage team.
I disagree. They are a seasoned player. They are a seasoned team. They are a seasoned team. They are not a big stage player.
So you say that when it comes... Oh yeah, by the way, here's a very, very big good point to point out, that China is not used to playing best of 5. They always play best of 3s, correct? Or they play like 2 games each every time during the LPL, correct?
Okay,
Correct
if you're thinking of format and advantages wise, right, the regions that have the most advantage is Korea and China, because they have always been following this format.
Have they been playing best of 5s? Because throughout the entire regional playoffs, it was best of 3s.
Yeah, but right now we're not talking semis, we're just talking about making out of group stages.
Making out of... Yeah, okay.
If you're talking about group stages wise, the biggest advantage...
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, if that's the case, then yes, group stages wise, wow, this is really hard to call OMG and Fnatic. But I actually want to put my money on OMG for this one. And say that, yeah, they're going to perform. And Fnatic is probably going to swing the other way. I'm just saying that just might happen. It's really very hard. I'll put a 50-50, but my seesaw will tilt towards OMG.
So it's 51-49, it's not 50-50.
Yeah, okay. 51-49. That would be Group C.
Okay, Group D?
Group D is the Western Showdown plus
we started with this.
Yeah, we started with this, and Chris has already put his predictions with Alliance and Cloud9, meaning that Najin White Shield has been kicked out of the picture altogether.
I mean, I gave mine as well, Najin White Shield and Alliance, and I think we have covered this already, so what are your predictions?
Why? Okay, so you are putting Najin White Shield
and Alliance,
Alliance. Okay, for me, Kaboom Esports no largest.
You can, I mean...
Okay, actually it's kind of disgusting that I'm laughing at this, because the thing is, it's not very nice per se to keep laughing about the international wildcard teams, and they have qualified in their own right, but oh well, that the disparity in power is just too much right now, and I sincerely hope that Riot can eventually do something about this.
If they play 5 scrying ops, okay, they're my favorites to win the tournament.
You never know. Maybe they just go crazy on they pick things like what Victor mid.
Okay, so who are your 2 picks?
Okay, my 2 picks. Like I said, these 3 teams are so hard to choose, but I will definitely pick Najin White Shield, and yes, they are going to wipe the entire tournament.
Who's number 2?
Number 2. Okay, wait, I need to type. Good lord, let me type. Okay, number 2. This is the most important one. You guys are going to go crazy about this, but I'm going to say Cloud9.
Okay,
sure.
fair enough.
Okay. This is very, very contrary to my how to say, my leaning towards teams when during the entire season, where I always thought that Alliance would be a better team. But after seeing the playoffs, the EU and NA playoffs, I do believe that the Cloud9 is the better team right now, and that I believe in strong team synergy over a 1 or 2 man carry of the entire team.
I mean, I I would also love to see Cloud9 make it out because they are one of the teams that stuck together for the longest time, and I'm the kind of guy that likes teams
Yeah.
who stick together as a 5-man roster for like a
Which
really,
which
really
brings
long time.
which brings me to my next point. Cloud9's team synergy is off the charts. I mean, come on. Even after granted that High had a lung collapse and their team synergy went way off because High couldn't find the energy to talk a lot. I know from personal experience because my lung has collapsed before and it is really very tough to recover from. And but Cloud9 has recovered and High has recovered. Cloud9 as a whole has recovered. And yes, they might have lost to TSM during the playoffs, but I believe that was a huge fluke in terms of how
Excuse me?
GTA managed to win. Yes,
Excuse me?
in your face, Chris, in your face. It's a huge fluke.
I don't think so.
And
Wait,
Cloud9.
wait. There's so many flavors in the world. Why do you just salty?
Okay, fine. Alright. But the thing is, even if Cloud9 was definitely the weaker team against TSM right now, I do believe that Cloud9 is going to benefit more in the Korean bootcamp than TSM.
Okay, fair enough.
And that's exactly how they're gonna, as a whole team, beat out Alliance
The
and
only
Kabumi slots.
the only reason why I chose Alliance over Cloud9 is while I like Cloud9 as a team, it's very obvious that, you know, if I just take Alliance, right, just the mid lane and the top lane, right, is gonna be enough to like. I mean, High against Froggen is gonna be quite obvious that Froggen's gonna wreck face,
Oh,
and then
come
Wicked
on.
against
Yes, of course. Yeah, like, but you always. I'm gonna bring you back to your scenario where you have TSM
Hey
versus
guys,
Royal
I
Club.
gotta run.
Okay.
So you
Yeah.
guys wrap it up by yourselves and see you guys. I'm out.
Okay. See you, Jensen. Okay, so I'm gonna bring you back to your argument again with TSM against Royal Club. As a team, Cloud9 moves much better than how Alliance moves, and Alliance, to be frank, is all about Froggen and Tabs. Sometimes Wicked, but it's usually Froggen and Tabs.
Yeah.
Shook is a hit and miss, and while I respect that guy a freaking lot because I am a jungler and I learn a lot from him, he's just not up there right now, and not up to the super carry standard that can keep up with the likes of Froggen and Tabs. And that is why I'm more of a fan of a team-oriented, teamwork-oriented team rather than a one or two man carry team.
Okay, the difference between this comparison and the Starhound Royal Club and TSM comparison, right, is that Starhound Royal Club, they got very glaring like strategy loopholes that TSM can exploit. Whereas Alliance, right, yes, it's true that their overall team synergy isn't as strong as Cloud9, right? They're not by any means like a team who doesn't know strategy at all. They know how to delay games, they know how to play the game to they know how to control the game until it's back into their momentum, that sort of team. They're not like a team that has no like game sense whatsoever. So in that sense, I think Alliance still is gonna be one step ahead as compared to Cloud9. That is in my opinion but of course I would want Cloud9 to do well as well. So even if it happens to be the case that Cloud9 does win over Alliance, then I'll be happy for them.
And we get to see that as well in the Singapore Expo.
Yeah. So I think we can just wrap it out here because there's only the two of us.
Yes, there's only two of us left. So for all you guys out there, me, Chris, Jensen, even Wolf, J-Storm, even Wolf, who else will be there?
Fish.
Fish will be there as well.
Yeah.
We will be in the Singapore Expo on the 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th.
Right?
Yeah, 25th to the 28th of September. We'll be out there all 4 days. If you are around the corner, around the area, please come and say hi to us. You don't need to say hi to me. I'm a nobody, but you can still talk to the casters. Yep. God damn it. So looks like Chris has DC'd. I guess we will have to wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys, do you have any predictions of your own? Please leave them in the comments down below. I will see you guys next time. This is Webhez signing off.